Point.
We're living in a, the modern age of the new psychedelic renaissance.
And I thought, this is not real. This is, my gosh, I'm on the radio. People hear me.
How we give to others and affect others' lives, and what we do with it is important.
Don't focus on the rest of the world, just focus on your own life.
And facts can't deal with emotions. It's like apples and oranges.
Bronze Age and Iron Age, I think it all could all be called the Wood Age.
You're not picking a president, you're actually picking a roommate.
Because you don't know what their story is. You don't know what pain they're dealing with.
Always part of me wanted an audience.
It's naive to think that human beings have stopped evolving.
The people are purple.
The world is a very rich place if you start exploring.
What you're about to see here is my interview with Peter Sawkins, winner of the Great British Bakeoff. And, we just talk about his book, how he's become an Honorary Burgess of the City of Edinburgh, where I'm stationed right now, where I'm located, and just general baking as well. So it was a fun conversation. I hope you enjoy. Make sure to check out the links in the description. For more, this conversation will also become part of an article that I'm writing with the Student, which is the newspaper for Edinburgh, University of Edinburgh. So yeah. And without further ado, I introduce Peter Bakes. All right, so today I'm joined by Peter Sawkins, winner of the British Bakeoff. And how are you doing today?
I'm very good, thanks. Yeah, thanks for having me, Chris.
Yeah, so I'm just going to start out with a simple question. So how did you get started baking? What was your story?
Yeah, so I kind of started with my mum in the kitchen when I was 4 or 5 years old, and making really, really simple things, flapjack, shortbread, nothing very complicated. That's just a bit of a Friday afternoon activity to do. And then when I was about kind of 12 years old, I was watching lots of Bake-Off from the Start series when I was 10 years old, and watching kind of Great British Menu, MasterChef. And I really got hooked in series 3 of the Bake-Off, and was just kind of inspired to try to make everything that I saw on the show and try and learn as much as I could. And from that point on, I started making more technical things in the kitchen. I really cared about the process behind the baking and learning about that. And it just never stopped from that point. It became a huge, huge hobby of mine.
That's great. So, what's the most alluring part about it for you? Is there some facet or element that entices you?
I think it's definitely where I'm creative. It's where my creativity comes through. And I really thought of myself as artistic, but with food I can be artistic. I think probably the most enticing thing about the activity for me is kind of the wonder and amazement of going from this really simple block ingredients. You're going from flour, butter, egg, sugar, and then you turn it into this kind of exciting, amazing thing that makes everyone smile and tastes delicious. And it's so unrecognizable from what you started off with. And I think that's quite a magical kind of process of baking. So I really like that.
That's great. Okay, so the main thing I wanted to get to today was you came out with a book that came out last month in October. What's in the book?
Yes. So the book is just everything about what and how I love to bake. So there's over 100 recipes. Everything's sweet in the book, and every recipe has a gluten-free amendment. And so we started off with a blank page. We decided what kind of chapters we were doing. I wanted to create chapters based on different types of baking, and then wrote a recipe list, which did amend over time. But just trying to think of my favorite flavor combinations, those of my friends and family, and the techniques that I've had most success with in the past, and the techniques that I most enjoy creating and working with in the kitchen. So I've just shared all of that in this book and put together kind of I think a highlight reel of the things that I most love baking over the past 9-10 years of my life.
That's great. So it's mostly desserts that you focus on. I've looked through it, the pages.
Yeah. So it's all cakes, pastries, sweet tarts, that sort of thing, puddings, desserts, everything sweet and not very healthy, to be honest.
Of course. Yeah, you have to choose one thing, healthy or delicious. Sometimes, well, not always, but
Got to find balance, I think.
yeah. What was your main intention with writing the book?
I suppose my main intention was just to share a sort of excitement and passion for baking. It was to kind of get people excited to go in the kitchen. I think if you pick up a book and it sort of piques your interest, it gets you engaged and want to get going in the kitchen. I think that book has done a really good job, and people are just inspired by the recipes and then go make something else. Or if people just sort of enjoy sitting down with it and thinking about the food, and then that then gets them to go and start cracking away. Or if they follow the recipes to the T and sort of go through many of them, just so long as it kind of gets them to engage in it and think about the process of baking and get going in the kitchen, I think that'll be a success from the book.
Yeah. Okay. So you were recently made an Honorary Burgess of the City of Edinburgh. So that must be pretty exciting. So what are your impressions of this?
Yeah, it was quite a surprising thing. It's sort of a very old title, and it was really great. It was a great honor because I've lived in Edinburgh all my life, and the city council unanimously voted to give me this title and sort of recognize me in this way, and it was really a wonderful thing to hear. The sort of feedback was that Bakeoff had been airing in the period of lockdown. And sort of that it had a really positive impact on people's weeks, and it just being this sort of light, bright spark that people got behind. So to hear that I was part of something that had that really enjoyable, positive impact on people's life during a tough time was lovely, and the recognition for it was a great honor.
That's great. So, what would you say your favorite bake is? Anything in particular?
My favorite bake, I struggle with picking it because I don't think that I'd ever want to not bake anything else. I can just pick one bake for the rest of my life.
It could be one category. It could be you prefer bread,
probably just
or
a cake.
Oh, just two.
Oh, okay, yeah, so that's good. I'll go with cake. I'll go with cake. I think it's always pretty relatively simple to put together. Everyone loves cake. You use it for celebrations, for birthdays. Maybe like a sort of layered birthday cake, which is quite tall, because it's quite exciting when people cut into it. So that's what I'll say.
That's a good option. You can go in lots of different directions with that.
There's lots of different flavors. It's a good canvas.
Of course. I'm personally a fan of the flourless chocolate for sure. I've made a pretty good one before, so yeah. Okay. Do you prefer to make sweet or savory things in general, or a mix?
So I think the book's all sweet, and I think kind of the distinction where I have in sweet and savory. I love cooking. I love to kind of take time over cooking, but most of my cooking is functional. I do a batch meal. I freeze portions so that when I come back relatively late at night, I've got a meal ready to go. I bung that in the microwave, cook up some pasta or noodles or something, go alongside that, and you've got kind of like a good dinner straight away. So it takes on quite a functional role for me. Whereas you don't need cake to live. You don't need the sweet baking. So whenever I'm doing it for a friend's birthday. I'm doing it for some kind of celebration meal. I'm doing it for something fun. It's not practical. It's something enjoyable and fun. So I think that's why I've got that connection with sweet baking, because it's just all about the special occasion, rather than the everyday. The everyday food and baking and is really important, and I love doing that. But it can become more routine and mundane. Whereas when you're baking something sweet, I think it's always special.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any advice for just beginner bakers or people just?
Yeah, I mean, just start simple. Don't do anything too complicated too fast. I think you pick up baking intuition as you go, and as you make mistakes, you learn from them, and you kind of can progress gradually. So don't start off too difficult and complicated, because there's so many different places where things can go wrong. Just start with the simple, and then also just keep trying it. Mistakes happen, failures happen. I still fail all the time. I feel less with the simple things now than I used to, but keep plugging away, because as I said, you learn from the mistakes that you make, and next time you bake it, you've learned what went wrong the first time, and you can try and fix that this time when you do it. So each time you go, you'll get better and better, and you'll make fewer and fewer mistakes as you get more experience. Yeah.
Okay. Do you have any final comments here, or anything that you'd like to mention that I haven't brought up?
No, I don't think so. No, just thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you. So how can people find you or your book?
Yes, you can find me on Instagram at Peter_Bakes. And also the book is out. It's in sort of any bookshop around the UK, and it's available on Amazon as well. And it's called Peter Bakes.
Perfect. Well, thanks for coming on, Peter. I'm giving you a virtual Hollywood handshake.
Thanks very much for having me.
Thank you. Cheers. So that concludes my interview with Peter Sawkins, winner of the Great British Bakeoff. You can find his book in the link in the description. Just go to my bookshop link. The UK version has it. I don't think the American bookshop has it yet, but it's also on Amazon if you want. Available at physical bookshops as well. But the bookshop link will support local bookshops, so make sure to do that if you can. Follow me on Instagram. Follow him on Instagram, Peter Bakes. And follow me, my personal and my podcast Instagram as well. So you'll get all those tasty updates, which is pretty cool, if I must say so myself. I'm not gonna lie. All right. Cheers.